Hello fiends and collectors, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with a Star Wars Light Series figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at a multi-figure pack, which I've personally been really looking forward to. It came as quite a surprise when Hasbro announced that they were making at least 2 of these characters in this pack. These are characters that come from a highly popular video game, and admittedly, I've not played the game, but I have seen cutscenes, playthroughs, so I have a general idea of the story and the sort of role that these characters play in the game. And well, I'm excited to share my thoughts on them. So without further ado, today we're going to be taking a look at Star Wars The Black Series, Jedi Survivor, Kestis, Turgle and Skoova Stev. As always, before we take a look at the figures themselves, we're going to have a quick look at the packaging, of which is in this rather chunky box. You've got the Star Wars Black Series logo at the top there. Very nice window packaging so you can see the figures. Of course, there's a backdrop included, which has some really nice artwork faded into that blue colour palette. And that really does offset the figures quite nicely. You've got the name of the characters on this call out on the side here as well. Name of the media that they're from on that colour banding. Bit of legalese at the bottom there. On the side, nothing much really going on other than Star Wars gaming greats. Star Wars The Black Series at the bottom there. Of course, you've got the sticker there as well, as I almost forgot to mention. Pictures of the characters, which is very, very nice, and that bleeds into the colour palette of the colour banding. If we go to the back, you've got those images again. Star Wars The Black Series, name of the characters, a bit of a bio, some legalese at the bottom there as well, not to forget to mention the media that they appear in, and again, legalese at the bottom there. So that is the packaging basically out of the way and done with. Now let's take a look at the figures themselves.
Think you can pull a fast one on us?
It was all just a misunderstanding!
Hey! Let him go.
That we cannot do. This thing sold us a priceless relic. The key we have been searching for. Except, of course, it's fake!
Gosh, that's a party. So, I think what we'll need to do is break these down, but first impressions with this pack. What an eclectic mix. I mean, first impressions, well done Hasbro for getting character selection down. It's very nice to get some glup shittos from video games particularly. Well, it does beg the question, can we just get more from other media? Because that would be amazing. I can think of a ton from Force Unleashed, Knights of the Old Republic, that are just screaming for figures to be made. Don't get me wrong, I'm loving the love that you're giving to Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order. It's obvious why you are. It's the current media to go for. Come on, let's have a bit more love for some of the golden oldies. Nonetheless though, let's keep it focused. Let's have a look at, I'll say Kestis first. We'll save the best till last. So here we have Cal. Now, he does come with an interchangeable head, and I had to go for this head because of how weird it is. As you may know from the Fallen Order video game, or you may not know, one of the great things about the game is the level of customization that you can give to Cal. So you can choose your outfit, once I'm guessing you've unlocked them, and in terms of cosmetics, how he physically looks. So Hasbro have included this very hillbilly look of Kestis. He's got a mullet, he's got the handlebar mustache combo. Just really, really awesome that they've done that. You know, it's a bit of a nod to the craziness that you can do in terms of the customization to the character. So props to them, well played. And that also goes with a lot of the accessories that he comes with, and of course we'll get into that with accessories. So first and foremost, just looking at this one head sculpt that he comes with, I absolutely love the accuracy that they've got to Cameron Monaghan's likeness. It's really, really good. A bit of an expression going on with his face. I don't know if that's because of missed paint apps on the eyebrows with mine, potentially. Just having a look round, of course, as I did mention, he's got the mullet. And just looking at the actual outfit that he's wearing, the jacket is definitely reused. They've repainted it or used a different plastic, because that's been taken from the Han Solo that I've actually just reviewed. So if you want to check that review out, link will be up there. I don't mind reuse if it serves a purpose, and in this case I think it definitely does, especially in a different colour scheme. It's always interesting to see that. You wouldn't really notice unless you really paid really close attention to it. But yeah, that's fine. No issues with a bit of reuse there, particularly as they've created a completely new sculpt within this pack with Turgle and Skoova Stev. But yeah, you've got the underbody there as well with the shirt. Of course, his sleeves are short or either rolled up. You've got some little doodads just on there, on the shoulder of the sleeve. And as you can see, I've actually posed BD1 up onto Cal. It's a really great way of just tucking the feet inside the jacket, or even the blaster holster as well, just to have him kind of hanging off Cal like he does in the video game. So that's pretty sweet. It would have been nice if there was a way to do it on the actual back of him, so you could have him perched on his back, but no biggie. Bit of blue tack would probably sort that out. Now, of course, you've got his belt there with his blaster and the holster. Just really, really cool. And then the trousers as well, and the boots. There's really not much to ring home with this guy. I think he looks great. Again, it's a different costume, but if they can do this for Jedi Survivor, why can't we get it for the likes of characters like Starkiller and many other video gaming characters? I'd even go as far to say you don't even need to be character specific. Do stuff that's a bit inspired Hasbro, because this is really, really cool. Anyways, if we move into the accessories, because I think this is where this particular figure excels, because a lot of the accessories are focused around Cal. So first and foremost, you've got these lightsabers. Now he comes with 4 lightsaber hilts in total, because in the video game, again, you've got a lot of customization in terms of the hilts that you can have Cal wield. And also you have the option there to choose which lightsaber combat style you want. You can have him with a double-bladed lightsaber, you can have him with the twofer or the one. Lots and lots of customization, which is really, really sweet. So I've currently got him displayed with this cross-guarded lightsaber, and I've also got him displayed with the shorter lightsaber hilt, which I believe is a Shoto. Of course, all you need to do is just take the blades out, and then you can really mix and match. I think some of them you can even hang off of his belt. I don't believe you can do it with this one, however, but this one, it does have a little loop which does peg into the peg just there, like so. So you can do that. Now if I just show you the other lightsaber hilts, so we've got the double-ended one. So there you go, you can have him with a double-ended, double-bladed lightsaber, which is really sweet. I'm pretty sure this is a sculpt we've seen before, but it's just been recoloured in a different sort of plastic. It's a bit more of a muted plastic. And then also finally the standard lightsaber that usually comes packed in with. Mine actually has a bit of a factory defect. When I got this out of packaging, there was some really interesting residue just on the inside there, and also it's like the paint's peeling off, so I don't know if they've overdone the paint sealant on this accessory and it's just clogged up into where that peg hole would be. I can certainly get a lightsaber blade in there, but it doesn't fit in there quite as snugly as you'd like. Now, that's no biggie, because I don't really intend to have this figure displayed with this lightsaber hilt, because I've got another one displayed with one that's similar to this, so that's fine. But it's a little bit annoying, especially with the price point that you're paying for this. But nonetheless, it's an extra accessory. It's fine, but yeah, just a bit annoying that that paint is sort of rubbing off. But these things happen. Moving swiftly on, away from the lightsaber blades, we have got BD1, which is kind of strange that they've not listed him on the box, because he is essentially a figure as well. He's got loads of articulation, surprisingly for something so small. Ball joint in the head, ball joints in the legs, or just the shoulders of the legs, hinges in the knees. That's all the articulation you've got, but that's plenty of articulation to get this guy in some really inquisitive poses. He's coloured in the blue paint application, because again, BD1 you can customise in terms of his look. That's a nice little variation from other ones that we've had. Yeah, really love this figure. I think it's still a really decent sculpt. I can't see how Hasbro could really improve on this, or indeed enhance any of the articulation. I think it's pretty spot on for what it needs to be. And again, I really like the fact that you can sort of perch him on Cal. So yeah, that's BD1. There's nothing much to really ring home about. It's something we have seen before. Yeah, just a very nice inclusion. Just coming back to Cal, he does come with a blaster that he can fit into his hand. That's very, very cool. It's got nice brown paint application on the handle. Nothing too fancy, but it does slot into his holster very, very nicely and quite snugly as well. So yeah, there is one other accessory that this figure does come with, and that's a interchangeable head that he actually comes packed with, and it's the sort of standard look of Cal, but the slight differentiation here is the fact that they have put a little bit of battle damage on his face. He's got a scar running just on his nose. So that's a nice sort of little variation. I think maybe the haircut's a bit different as well compared to the other ones that we've had. But yeah, this figure really does lean into the customization, the idea of the customization that's available in Jedi Survivor. I think that's really, really cool. Again, as I said, love to see it for other media as well. In terms of this figure's articulation, he has a ball joint in the head. There's a ball joint in the neck as well. You've got butterfly joints in the shoulders. You've got ball joints in the shoulders as well. Ball jointed elbows. Ball jointed wrists. There's a ball joint in the torso. Ball jointed hips. And amazingly, we've got the thigh swivel, of which has been completely removed from newer figures. So that's always welcome to see. You've got ball jointed knees. You've also got the ball jointed ankles with the rocker joints. So you can get this guy in some really, really dynamic poses, which is perfect, particularly for a Jedi action-orientated character. Can't think of what more you could want. Now, moving swiftly on, let's take a look at Skoova Stev. Now, this little guy is essentially an accessory, but it is a figure in its own right. I absolutely love the character design of this guy. His role in the game is sort of like a side quest, from what I understand, in that effectively you go talk to him and he tells you some little tales, mainly fishing tales, from his time throughout the galaxy.
Cal, have you time for a chuckle? I've a wee joke for you.
Sure.
Capital. Hark. Imagine there be a fish with no gills.
Is that the joke?
What do you mean? Is that? But of course! How would a fishy breathe with no gills?
Oh, I get it.
And I think that's such a cool little glup shito that Hasbro has made for us. Seriously, more stuff like this, Hasbro. It doesn't matter that there's not too much articulation with it, but the details and paint application is just perfect. Just the right amount for what you could possibly want for a character like this. The fact that this sheerly exists is absolutely awesome. So here's Skoova Stev. He's got a little diving outfit. The dome as well is translucent plastic. You've even got a little starfish on his helmet there, and there's some barnacles that have been sculpted and painted on to the helmet from his adventures of diving. I love how very retro looking that diving suit is. You've got various doodads on the back there and vents, and even the little pipes as well, little breathing tubes. Just so awesome. And as well, you can remove the diving helmet to reveal his very... How are we going to describe this? It looks like a snail. He definitely looks like a snail with those little eyes and the moustache as well. It's interesting to note as well, this character has a very broad Scottish accent, and that fits this character absolutely amazingly. I love the blue. It's a little bit of a vibrant blue. Maybe it could have done with a bit of a wash to cover that, but you know what? For what this figure is, absolutely fine. There's some little details picked out in black. That head sculpt looks absolutely remarkable. And then, of course, when you get it all packed together with the diving helmet, there's actually a little peg on the back, as you'll see there. And inside the diving helmet, there's a tiny peg, but it's not really doing much for the figure to keep it on. But, you know, it does kind of just sit there quite nicely. Additionally as well, he does come with an accessory. I don't know what this thing is. It looks to be maybe a harpoon. Answers on a postcard, because I'm not entirely sure. But it does have a little peg on it, and you can attach that onto his diving suit in a little hole just there, which is really sweet. Or you can have him actually hold it. So yeah, just a very neat little figure. Again, I think the fact that it just sheerly exists is wonderful. And Hasbro didn't just stop there. They did actually include a bit of articulation with this guy. Granted, it's just in the arms, so there's ball joints in the shoulders, so you can just move the arms a little bit to get a bit of posability out of those. I think that's absolutely awesome. So that's essentially Skoova Stev. There's nothing much to really ring home about this guy. It is essentially an accessory. It's a figure in its own right. Hasbro has even put him on the packaging. There's a figure in its own right. And what a cute little bonus figure this is. Perfect execution in terms of packing this in a pack like this. That's Skoova Stev. I'm absolutely gushing about him because he's so adorable. But that's not the cherry on the cake, as we now take a look at Turgle. So where do I even begin with Turgle? He's just a goofy little frog guy, and I think Hasbro's definitely made this because of 3D printers out there that have rushed to try and get this guy made. So fair play to Hasbro for trying to get an official one out there at least. It saves me a job painting something like this, so much appreciated on that front. I really wanted a Turgle just because of how goofy he is, and not only that, he's played by the same voice actor who plays Invader Zim.
Lies! The filthy earth boy lies! He lies!
I'm just putting it out there. That's awesome. Perfect voice for a character like this.
That's right, Turgle. Should it?
He's just a goofy little guy. Look at that face. He's so happy. I have such joy that they've made this. You know what? It's not a perfect figure by any stretch or means. It could have been better. It certainly could have been better. But for what it is, like with Skoova Stev, it's the sheer fact that this exists. It's the fact that Hasbro actually made it. It could have been so easily missed. But again, it calls for more stuff like this to be made, and certainly accompanying figures to go with this. We need Ravis now. We need Ravis to push this guy around. But anyways, let's take a look at Turgle. It's that face. It's amazing. Look at his little eyes, his little froggy eyes, the goofy little smile, wide open mouth. The paint application is awesome as well. They've really done a bit of a dry brushing of green over the yellow to pick out some of those little spots. And then looking at his arms, it fades from green to orange. Orange flecks on his legs. Of course, the main colour being green to orange to the bottoms of his feet. He's not really wearing much to cover himself other than his blaster holster, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, so all he's wearing is the belt with the blaster holster, because he does come with a blaster. That's the only accessory that he comes with. We may as well get that out of the way and done with now. And he does hold that pretty well. It's a very interesting looking design of blaster. Hippity hoppity, get off my property. I love this guy so much. Is this figure of the year? It certainly could have been if Hasbro put a bit more articulation into it, because that's the only thing that's letting this thing down, is the lack of articulation. I certainly think they could have put some ball joints in, let's be fair, key areas. So let's just get into articulation. Now, it does look like the mouth should articulate, and if they can do an articulated mouth on a Gamorrean guard, why couldn't they have done it on this? That would have completely ascended this figure into god tier territory. But again, I'm pleased that this figure exists just in its own right. Just little pointers to Hasbro. You've got the sculpt now, just tweak it a bit and you could make it perfect. But nonetheless, got ball joints in the shoulders. They are a little bit stiff on mine. You've got ball jointed wrists, ball jointed hips, and ball jointed ankles with the rocker joints. That does help try and get some stability, because he is of course very top heavy. I personally haven't had any issues standing this guy, which has been great, and maybe that's the reason why Hasbro didn't put any articulation in the knees. I can kind of forgive, you know, the lack of articulation in the legs, because again, top heavy, you kind of want limited articulation there just so you can get that sweet spot to get him to stand. I think what this figure is severely lacking really is just the elbows. I think it should have had some ball joints in the elbows just so you can bend it. That being said though, the arms are very, very flexible. When you've got them in hand, they are very bendy. It's not a hard plastic. I didn't know if they actually put wire joints in there, you know, where they actually have a soft plastic with a piece of wire running through it, so you can actually bend it and have it slightly posed. But no, it's actually plastic. So I'd be careful with that, because there might be some tearage potentially if you do it too hard. Just a little forewarning there. Slightly disappointed in the articulation department, I'll be honest. But again, I am super impressed that this thing even exists. He's a chunky, goofy little guy. He's just a real shelf presence. You know, this is going to really stand out amazingly on your shelf. This is definitely one for Jedi Survivor nuts. But anyways, just going to closing thoughts. This multi-figure pack is absolutely terrific. More stuff like this, Hasbro, please. It's so unbelievably quirky, it's so unbelievably on brand to Star Wars. I had so much fun unboxing and trying out all the different accessories and playing around with the goofy little guys that you get in this set. Again, Turgle is a character that I wasn't expecting to be released. It was a little bit more likely given the memeability of him, but Skoova Stev I never thought in a million years we would see, and I'm so appreciative that they've actually done both of those. The Cal is a nice little inclusion. I do think Cal is a bit of an overdone character. I could be in the minority saying that there, but I do appreciate the level of thought that Hasbro put into this particular one, giving all the customizable accessories and indeed alternative head sculpt, just to kind of lean into some of the ridiculous visual outcomes that you can get in game. I really cannot recommend this figure pack enough. Yes, there are some little gripes with Turgle in terms of the articulation department. Yes, I did have a bit of a factory defect with one of the lightsabers, but honestly that can't deter me from recommending this to you. Turgle's face, that's enough for me to sell it. That's enough of a selling point for you to just immediately buy this. Don't sit around, don't wait for discount, pick this up, because I really can't see this sitting around for too long. But by all means, if you can find it at a discount, you're absolutely laughing. So that pretty much does it for this review. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this pack. Let me know what you guys think though. Have you picked this up? What are your thoughts? Sound off in the comments down below. And well, this is me, Daniel East 1000, sign out, and thank you very much for watching.